Yeah, buddy. We got a 4-hour party without the rum. That's all that it is. 4-hour party without the rum, man. There you are. Listen, we got a big night coming up on Friday night with Robin Trower right here at the Peak. From the Paramounts, Procol Harum, all that good stuff going on with Robin Trower. But as far as an opener, man, you're in for a great treat. Like, you're really in for a great just a great night of music this coming Friday night right here at Penn's Peak. Before I introduce you to this guy, and I know of him, he kicks ass for sure. Let me give you a little something here, and you can find this on Scott's website. But Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, one badass trio. Have not seen a better band in years. Blues rock at its best. You know, these guys are real blues players. Ton of soul that'll rock your world. Scott has got that something you just can't shake. I mean, the reviews, and I'll tell you what, I mean, it's humbling, I'm sure, for Scott to hear about it, for sure, but I want to introduce you to Scot Wies, to the Scot Wies Band, because the guy is absolutely amazing and is going to rock the house as an opener for Robin Trower. Scott, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you, man?
I'm great, man. You?
Every day's a Friday in my world, Scott.
That's perfect.
It is.
It should be.
Absolutely, and for all of us. Man, you heard me before we brought you on the show, and on board right now, guys. Scot Wies of the Scot Wies Band. Pretty amazing stuff with the reviews that you've gotten across the board from people like ZZ Top and some of the other great blues guitarists. I mean, it's
and some of those happen right at Penn's Peak.
Yeah.
We opening for Blues Traveler, John Popper. I mean, I don't know how many times we played with them at the Peak, but, you know, we built up a great relationship with them through you guys, you know, which is great.
It is, but, you know, even without us here, I mean, you certainly, even without us here at the Peak, and it's great to have you back, but you certainly made... You made your own mark, man. I mean, I'll tell you what, you're rocking, man. Have you ever thought it would take you to this kind of height for you, man, in your career?
No, actually. It's nice. It's nice to get great compliments, you know, and I guess the show coming up is kind of significant because you might remember 2 years ago I got in a car accident, broke my neck in 3 spots.
I do.
And then 4 months after, I was playing with Dickie Betts at Penn's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
And Penn's Peak, Dickie Betts, you know, gave us great reviews. I was a little stiff that night, so looking forward to, 2 years since the accident's kind of cool.
Yeah, and
a new drummer since Andy Pace. He's moved up to the Poconos, I guess, about 20 years ago after being with CC in the Music Factory, Gary U.S. Bond, countless others like myself, and we've kind of been running in and running out, you know, to each other. Mm-hmm. And someday we should hook up. So he's a welcomed, part of the Scot Wies Band now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
And on bass, we got Todd Lanka, who's pretty well known in the New Jersey PA circuit for being just such a diverse player, and also he joined me with Bobby Barth, the guys from Blackfoot, when we created the Louisiana Hoodoo Crew. So we've been together probably about 5 years with Todd.
Mm-hmm. You have you three guys make up, make some absolutely incredible sound, man. ScotWiesBand.com on the website. Keeping blues alive. You're staying at it. It's taken you all over, and you're doing well, though. I mean, here it is a couple of years, but you're doing well after the accident. Everything is all good.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, you never forget how to play guitar and sing. Thank God.
Awesome, man. How about it? Right? Yeah, man. Amen to that, brother. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, and I do remember that. It was certainly talk backstage right here at the Peak when it all happened. You got a lot of stuff going on. In the news, all over the place. What do we have coming up? Do we have any kind of like music coming out? The latest CD? What's going on with you?
The latest CD that recorded right before I got in the car accident, and it took me forever long to finally release it. It's called Almost There.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of significant, the first record was Have a Little Faith, second record Trying to Get Back, and the third one is Almost There.
Right.
And we're actually currently working, you can never stop working. So we're currently laying tracks today for the upcoming CD.
Mm-hmm.
Which we don't know what it will be called, but we might throw one out there this Friday night.
Nice. Very cool.
We
I know.
got really good responses doing Otis Redding's These Arms of Mine, which is on our newest CD, Almost There.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I think we might throw down a little Etta James or something.
No, that's
I've
awesome.
never really done too many covers, but they seem to go over good. People they're well received.
It'll be
Playing with Robin Trower, he's one that maybe taught me coming out of the '80s rock scene. I was on Premiere, one of the agencies out of New York City, doing a lot of fill-in for '80s rock bands, and
mm-hmm.
then progressing into the blues scene. You needed to play significantly less.
Right.
So during that time, listening to Robin Trower, who's probably one of the experts, the guys who can do it so eloquently.
Oh my gosh.
Stepped right into the emotion without shredding a million notes.
Right. It's going to be a great show with you on stage, the Scot Wies Band. Scot Wies on the phone with me right now. Scot Wies doing some incredible blues, man. And like you said, maybe even throwing some covers in there too. And then, rolling off into Robin Trower. I mean, you have one hell of a night this coming Friday night at Penn's Peak. I can assure you that. Two absolutely awesome guitar players. So, I mean, you worked in all the scenes, on the rock scene, as you mentioned, and but you made your mark in blues. I mean, I'm sure you're happy where you are. I mean, blues is where it's at. Well, what is it with the blues? And I love the blues. I mean, I'll go home. I've got a CD now. I mean, that I can just listen to. Even when I go into blues, and I'm talking like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton, Robin Trower, some of the cuts that are just not all that known, like. Tore It Down by Eric Clapton. For those of you that ever heard that song, I mean, when you hear that, I mean, you talk about raw blues. What is it? What is it with the blues? What is it with you blues guys? And that just makes you like roll with it, which I love. I mean, what is it?
I can only speak for myself, but
right.
Coming out of the '80s rock and doing, you got to put makeup on the backstage and they tease your hair out. This was the late '80s, and it's all kinds of, let's say, BS,
Yeah.
When the underlining tone, you're like, oh, that was a really cool solo that he did. It was very bluesy. Then you're like, well, if that's what I love, myself speaking, and why don't I just do what I love?
Right.
And transitioning into getting, being a sideman for different blues guys and learning the learning curve. And even speaking of your show previous, leading up to this point with disco, I was working at the House of Music in West Orange where they recorded Kool and the Gang and that Slave and all these 70s funk and disco bands.
Right.
And there was a guy, Stevie Washington, from the Ohio Players, Slave, and Parliament, that just took me under his wing. Let me teach you a little what funk is, You're a great guitar player. And then, so that progresses into moving more towards the emotion and blues and what comes out of your heart. That's the only thing I can say to say why do we do it.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Even though I'm doing a musical disco set here on my show today, man, I don't know.
Right.
I'm reliving the lighted dance floors in the VIP back rooms, man. That's what I'm reliving here in my own, just in my own mind. And you know what I'm talking about, probably, Scott. I mean, you
Absolutely.
definitely. That's why I told everybody on the show today. Here I am. It's like, and now I stayed away kind of like from the really extended version of some of the disco songs, but the reason they were like 11, 12, 13, 15 minutes is sometimes it took a little longer in that VIP room to get back out. So that's why they have the extended versions of the disco music, man. And that's all I can say about that, just in case my 85-year-old mother is still listening to this show. But I'll tell you what.
I remember having to dress up to play guitar, being in platform shoes, weird stuff, playing with various funk bands, being like, this is weird.
Now you just show up. Now you just show up going, oh, you know what? I think I slept in these jeans. You know what? Screw it. We're a blues band, man. Who cares?
Exactly.
But you know what? I'll tell you. And all kidding aside, though, man, you really you're very good. I've had the opportunity to see you a few times, and I'll tell you what, raw blues and what Scot Wies and the band lays down. I mean, like I said, Billy Gibbons is ZZ Top. You have other you have the reviews coming in from all over, from places that write about the blues.
Yeah, that was shocking from Billy.
Yeah,
and Dusty. That they were standing on the side of the stage and we were opening for them, and they're all dancing.
Yeah.
At that time, we were transitioning with the Blackfoot guys, and we did Train.
Right.
Blackfoot's played at your place, a million times as well.
Right.
And so we walk off the stage, and they're like, "That was awesome. You guys are fantastic. Probably one of the best trios I've ever seen." And I'm looking at these three guys, the best trio,
that I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, really?
Yeah,
these guys are the best.
It's awesome. John Popper, man, if you ever had a chance to see that dude, man, then he's been here at the Peak. I mean, he rocks ass too. John Popper, Junior Wells.
We opened 3 times for Blues Traveler at the Peak.
I know.
And John and the guys, brought me out on stage, and we had a little jam going on. It was fun.
Oh, man. And it's going to be fun on Friday night. So, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Those of you that are hanging out with us right now, I'm going to give somebody a shot at a pair of tickets to see Scot Wies on stage. And Scott's even got music for you and T-shirt and everything else you can get at the swag table in the back. I guess you'll be able to hang out and see Scott.